Good morning, guys. We, the Japanese boys, are here to talk about Sino-Japan's biggest issue in these days, which is Senkaku Island conflict. We made this video for two reasons. First, to let the world know what China is doing to us. Second, to tell the truth of Senkaku Island issue, and to provide a new fresh information for those Chinese who only can get information that are favored by the communist government. So to start off, for those who don't really know what the Single issue is, here's the situation. Chinese government started claiming that Single Islands are possessed by Chinese, even though those are owned by Japanese government. Just because Chinese found that there are natural resources around the area to keep up with the economy. That was a very brief summary, but what actually made it so tense conflict? First of all, Chinese fishermen were allowed to come around the Sink Islands, according to the Chinese government. However, of course, for Japanese, it is not acceptable. Japanese battleships always splash the water for those fishing boats to kick them away, even though I don't know if that's gonna work. Anyway, one day this fishing boat started to move toward a Japanese ship and attack. As a result, Japanese decided to arrest them. I mean, there's no problem with that, since Chinese started to tackle Japanese ship within the Japan Sea. However, what made it so tense conflict is that Chinese government started to ask for releasement of the prisoners unconditionally. That was just random. Why do Japanese have to accept such an unfair request? Japanese government decided not to release the captain, even though they released other prisoners. But for some reason, Chinese government went crazy and decided to give us revenge. But China threatened Japan in many ridiculous ways, such as limiting exports of rare earth metals, canceling all the Japanese students' visits to China for study, and canceling all the cabinet minister level meetings without telling us any reason, and they even didn't accept any phone calls.
Okay, now that you heard about situation between China and Japan, now I will talk about some of the evidences that proves Japan's right to possess the island. First, please look at this letter of appreciation sent from Chinese government to Japan in 1920. About a year before this letter was sent, there was one Chinese fishing boat met with a disaster at sea, and the captain and his crew members were drifted to the island called Ishigaki Island. These men were treated warmly and were sent back to China half a year later. This letter was a sign of gratitude from Chinese government to some of the people on the island. However, what happened is not that important in this video. Most important thing about this letter is if you look at the line part where it happened. It's in Chinese, but it is saying Senkaku Islands, Okinawa Prefecture, Japanese Empire. Another evidence we found are maps published in China. This was published in 1960. First, if you look closely at the circled name, it says Senkaku Shoto, which translates to Senkaku Islands. This map kindly used Japanese for the name of these islands, even though this map is published in China. This is another map published in 1969. In this map, you can clearly see the word Senkaku in Japanese again, proving that proving that Senkaku Islands are Japanese territory. As you can see from these evidences, there is no doubt that Senkaku Islands are Japanese territory. Chinese government admired that and admitted that also a century ago. Currently, Chinese citizens are probably the only people who do not know these facts as a result of media control by Chinese government. Apparently, there are some faults on Japan's side too. The reason why this is such a huge news in Japan right now is because the people on top of this country, the prime minister and his secretary, cannot confidently announce and claim that Senkaku Islands are Japanese history, despite the fact that there are evidences to support that argument. Again, the purpose of this video is to let the world know what is happening between China and Japan. We hope that people, especially those who live in China with limited information given, would logically think about this issue. We both know that the adult world is way more complex than we, just some high school students, can ever imagine, and the world is filled with gray. However, to us, and hopefully to the world as well, that this issue of Senkaku Islands is as simple and obvious as black and white. So we claim and believe and know that Senkaku Islands are part of the country called Japan and Japan only. Thank you for watching.